Welcome to Retech Solution Python Programming. This is day 8 class. Okay, in this class we're going to continue with our functions. Okay. Last class we ended up with the LCM of two number problem, and we're going to continue our remaining two problems in this class. Okay, I'm opening my VS Code. Okay, my problem is going to be find the greatest common divisor. Okay, first I'm going to define my function def gcd, and I'm going to get two variables from the user, a and b. Okay, next I'm going to print call a variable r, and I'm going to a mod. Okay, I'm going to mod a and b. Okay, sorry, b. Then if r is equal to 0, if my r is equal to 0 means I'm going to return my b. Okay, else return gcd b comma r. Okay, like this. And now I'm gonna get my input from a user a. It's gonna be integer input, int input, enter the number. Okay, then it's gonna be int input, enter the number. Okay, next thing is I'm gonna initialize my function gcd. I'm gonna call it with a comma b. And finally I'm gonna print my gcd is okay. This is my code. Okay, I will run this function and we will explaining it. So it will throw an error, I think so. Okay. Okay, I missed a comma here. Okay, that's why it's throwing me an error. If I run this, it's gonna be fine. Okay, enter the number. I'm gonna print my first number. Sorry, I'm gonna print my first number 10 and 5. Okay, we got our output as gcd is 5. Okay, check whether n div is equal to none. If div is none, div is equal to n minus 1. While div is greater than or equal to 2, if n mod div is equal to 0, print number not prime, return false. Let's check. Time null. Okay, I'm gonna first define my function def. Okay, with the name of check my function name is check, and I'm going to assign two arguments, okay, n and div. Okay, div is, okay, I'm going to predefine my div with the value of none. Okay, I'm going to predefine my value of div with none. Okay, now making some condition here. I'm going to check first whether if div is equal to none. If my div value is none, means what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign div is equal to n minus 1. Okay, like this, and I'm going to create a loop here, while loop. Okay, what I'm going to do is in my while loop, while div is greater than or equal to 2, I'm going to check some conditions here. Okay, if n mod div is equal to 0, I'm going to print the number is not prime. Okay, else, okay, else, and I'm going to return it as false. Okay, I'm going to return it's a false. Okay, else if this not a valid function, means I'm going to return check with n comma div minus 1. Okay, I'm going to reassign the div with the value of div minus 1. Okay, or else if this everything has been done, means else print this number is prime, and I'm going to return it to true. Okay, okay, I'm going to run this function. It's okay, I'm sorry, I didn't assign anything. Okay, I'm going to call it all else. First I'm going to get an input from our user, int input into the number, and I'm going to call my function with my n value. Okay, I'm going to run this function. I'm going to call my function. I'm going to run this code. Okay, I'm going to enter my number. I'm going to first enter 5. I made a mistake, I think so. Sorry, I made a mistake in my variable name. Okay, I've cleared it, and I'm going to run it. Okay, I'm going to enter my number 5. This is a prime number. Okay, I got an output. This is a prime number because 5 is a prime number. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, first I'm defining my variable. I'm defining my function using my diff keyword, and my name of my function is going to be check. Okay, I'm getting a two variable. I'm passing two parameters in it, n and a div. Okay, I'm pre-assigning div to none. Okay, I'm pre-assigning my div argument as a none value. Okay, then first I'm making a condition here. Okay, I'm going to check whether the div is equal to none. Okay, whether the div argument carries the value of none or not. Okay, if my div value carries my none, okay, it will then I'm reassigning my div value with n minus 1. I'm going to minus 1 from my n argument, and I'm going to assign it to my div value. Okay, div argument. Okay, and after that I'm making a loop here. I'm going to check whether my div is greater than or equal to 0. If this loop has been, I'm going to run this loop until this condition is failed. Okay, first I'm going to check whether if n mod div is equal to 0. Okay, I'm going to check whether n mod 2 is equal to and if it done, means this number is not a prime number, and I'm going to return it as false. Okay, else, okay, else means I'm going to reassign n div minus 1. Okay, once again I'm going to reassign this, and I'm going to run this loop. Okay, I'm going to call this function. I'm going to run this loop once again. Okay, this way I'm going to run it until this condition is satisfied. Okay, if any of these condition has been satisfied, okay, if this mod has been done, means it gonna throw me an the number is not a prime number. if this condition is not satisfied, the else part will move on running. Okay, if they at the end of this, okay, at the end of this, if div is greater than or equal to 0, if this condition failed, means it will move on to this else part and it will print this number is a prime. Okay, and it will return a true value. Okay, what if I'm printing, I'm giving another value 4, maybe 10. Okay, 10 is not a prime number. Okay, we got our perfect answer. The number is not a prime. Okay, this way we can check a prime number or not using regression using a function. Okay, all right. Okay, next we are going to move on some other functions method in our module. Our next function type is a lambda function. Okay, this is another type of a function. Okay, a lambda function is a small anonymous function. Okay, lambda function is called as a small anonymous function. Okay, we can use it for a just a one call function. Okay, we can call it for one time. Okay, like that. Okay, we can call it as many as time we can use, but generally lambda function is used to use as an anonymous function without defining a variable to it. Okay, without defining a name for it. Okay, a lambda function can take any number of arguments but can only have one expression. Okay, it can take many number of arguments. Okay, what if I want to make only one expression? For example, I want to make only addition to my problem, or I want to make a multiplication, means I can use a lambda function. Okay, it take multiple arguments but it will perform only one expression. Okay, my lambda function syntax is going to be look like this: lambda arguments colon with followed by my expression that I want to perform. Okay, we will see that in a practical example. I'm going to move on to my Visual Studio Code. Okay, I'm going to comment everything here out. I'm sorry. Okay, for creating my lambda function in this first example, I'm going to create a variable x and I'm going to assign this variable. I'm going to assign my lambda function to this variable. Okay, first for creating my lambda function, first I'm going to call the lambda variable. Okay, lambda. Okay, and then my value, for example, argument. Okay, like that. Okay, for in here I'm going to get n. I'm going to open my colon and my expression that I want to perform. For example, I'm going to n plus 5. Okay, I'm going to plus anything with the, I'm going to plus my n value with 5. Okay, next I'm going to print, okay, n, I'm sorry, not n, I'm going to print my variable x, which has my lambda function, and I'm going to pass my variable to it. For what variable? I'm going to pass my value for my n argument. It's going to be 5 again. Okay, if I run this code, I'm going to run this code. Okay, I got my perfect output here. Okay, 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. Okay, what is going on here means I am first assigning my lambda function to a variable called x. Okay, I am calling my lambda function, I am passing my arguments here, and my expression is this. Okay, and then I am printing my lambda function. What is the output here? Okay, it's going to return my output, return of my expression. Okay, it will have an output value. It's going to return my output of my expression. Okay, this way also we can make a lambda function. Okay, what if I want a multiple variable in, for example, n comma m. Okay, I'm going to multiply, I'm going to plus, sorry, n comma m. What I'm going to do is 5 comma 10. Okay, I'm going to run this function. Yeah, we got our output here 15. Okay, I think you will be able to see this. We got our output here 15. Okay, this way also we can make our lambda function with the multiple arguments also. Okay, maybe I can add n comma m comma x comma y. I got multiple arguments here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it like this. Okay, first I'm going to plus n comma n and multiply x plus y. Okay, and I'm going to print this. Okay, first 5 comma 10 comma 20 comma 30. Sorry, maybe another 5. Okay, I'm gonna save this. I think I'm gonna run this. I don't know what will be. And we got our output here. Okay, 15 and 25. 15 into 25 is going to be 375. Okay, we got our output line. We can this way also we can pass our multiple arguments here, and also we can have make a, this will be in a single expression. Okay, I just wrapped everything in a single expression. Okay, this way we can make our program to run, or else I can print return here also. Okay. Okay, I don't want to specify any return statement here. Basically, our lambda function is going to be written automatically the value as our output. Okay. Okay. We're going to see some other examples in our lambda functions. Okay, we will move on to our explanation examples. Okay. Okay. Till now we have seen lambda function standalone. Okay. I'm going to create my lambda now. I'm going to create my lambda function inside a function. Okay. For that, first I'm going to define my function lamp. Okay, it's going to be a, and then I'm not going to pass anything inside it. Okay, what I'm going to do is okay, I'm going to pass an int variable to it. Then I'm going to return my lambda function. I'm going to do my function here alone. Okay, it's going to be a, it's going to be a star n. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to call this function. Okay, I'm going to call this function. For that, first I'm going to initialize my function. Okay, using x lamp. Okay, I'm going to pass my n value to it. Okay, first I'm going to pass my n value. Okay, it's going to be maybe a 10. Okay, next I'm going to print my x with another value. Okay, it's going to be 5. Okay, if I run this code, okay, I got my proper output here. Okay, this way also we can create a lambda function. I'm creating my lambda function anonymously without defining a variable to it. Okay, in our previous problems we have defined a variable and have assigned our lambda function to the variable like this, but in this I'm creating a variable lambda function inside a function. Okay, to make a particular expression. Okay, a single line expression. Okay, this way we can create our lambda function. Okay. Okay, next we're going to see some other methods in our functions. Our next function is going to be a map function. Okay, a map is nothing but of a map as an inbuilt function. Okay, it's an inbuilt function like integer class. Okay, type. Okay, maybe a range. These are some inbuilt functions in Python. Like that, map is also some inbuilt function which has it is used to apply a function to all the elements of a sequence. Okay, it's used to apply a function to all the element of a sequence. Okay, the syntax of a map function is going to be called a map, starting with a map variable name and a function and iteratable. Okay, we will see this with a practical example. I'm going to move into my VS Code. I'm going to comment this. Okay. For creating my map function, before that I'm going to define a function. It's going to be an add function. Okay, it's going to be empty value in it. What I'm going to do is, okay, I'm going to add some variable in here. Okay, it's going to be a. What I'm going to do is I'm going to return maybe a. I'm going to return a plus 5. Okay, I'm going to add 5 to each of my a value. Okay, okay, this is my function. Okay, my input of this function is going to be a list. Okay, I'm going to input a multiple function. Okay, like we have seen in our function like keyboard arguments and arguments where we can input our multiple functions. Similar to that. Okay, it's going to be similar like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to name a variable x here, okay, x, and I'm going to call my map function map, and then I'm going to initialize I'm going to call my function name here. It's going to be add, comma, I'm going to add my values. For example, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 8 comma 7. Okay, these are my values. Okay, this is what my this is a map function. Okay, if I print my x, okay, if I print my x, okay, I'm gonna print my x, and okay, that's it. Okay, I'm calling my function inside my map function. Okay, I'm calling my function add inside my map function, and I'm passing a variable. Okay, the main definition of my map function, the main definition of a map function is going to be it is used to apply a function to the all element of a sequence. Okay, here this is going to be a sequence. Okay, I'm going to apply my function method to all and every sequence. Okay, I'm going to run this code. Okay, take some time. Okay, this is our output here. Okay, I'm just printing my x variable. Okay, I'm just printing my x. Okay, this x is nothing but of as a map function as our as its value. Okay, you can see that it gives an output as a map object. Okay, it gives an output as a map object. Okay, this thing has converted into an object here. Okay, if I want the value of it, okay, what if I want the value of it means I should convert my x to list. I should convert that x value to a list. Okay, if I print this, okay, we got our output here. It has been performing every single value. Okay, line by line. It took 1 as an input here, and it adds it, and 7 2 as an input, and it gives an output as a 7. Okay, this way we can use our map function to make a perform in a sequence. Okay, iteratable like a sequence like that. Okay, passes each item of an iteratable to a function. Okay, this is an example of a map function. Okay, this way we can print our map function. Okay, we can also use our map function to get an input from a user as a list. Okay, what if I want a input from a user? We have seen input getting a single input from a user. What if I want to print? What if I want to get a multiple input from our user? Okay, for that also we can use our map function. Okay, first I'm defining x. It's going to be map. It's going to be integer, comma. Okay, before that I'm going to wrap it with a list, map, list, comma, input, okay. I'm going to print x. Okay, if I run this code, I think it will throw an error. I think so. I made a mistake like that. Okay, it is throwing me an error. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just changing my directory of the list. Okay, like this. It's going to be, and then after this I'm going to strip it. Okay, okay, strip each values, and then I'm going to split. More those two values in it. Okay, I think so. Need to wrap this and this. Okay, like this. Before that, I'm going to get another value in. It's going to be integer input into the number of char. Okay, it's going to tell you how many characters you want in the list. Okay, like this. This way we can get it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse like this. Okay. I think everything is fine. Maybe it will doesn't throw an error. I think so. Okay, I'm running this code. Okay, I'm going to enter how many characters I want to in a list. It's going to be 5. and character 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm running this code. Okay, there was some error in my code. I've rectified it. Okay. First, I'm getting a number of input. Okay, number of character that I want in my list. Okay, I'm going to find character in my list, and I'm gonna type how the character that I want to specify in my list. Okay, it's going to be one, and it should be separated. It should be separated using the space. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then okay, this way we can create an input from a user list. Okay, we can get a list input from a user using our map function. We can also have for loop like that. Okay, it will be a simple code. Okay, it will get an input from a user using our map function. Okay, we will see some another problems using this map. Okay, in a previous example, I have added this with an inbuilt variable. Okay, I have defined a predefined variable. What if I want to add a two variables using our map function? Okay, for example, I'm going to add a two list here. For that, I'm going to define another add name same add function. I'm going to define two variables to it. Okay, a comma b. Okay, after that, I'm going to return a plus b. Okay. Okay, this is my function. Okay, next thing I'm going to initialize my function with x is equal to map. Okay, and calling my function name add comma and my character, for example maybe apple, sorry. Okay, I am. Okay, and age. Okay, next. Okay, it's going to be 24. Okay, I'm going to add these both things. Okay, I'm going to run this code. Sorry, I just printed it. I'm printing x. I got a map object here. Okay, I'm going to convert it to a list. I think I made a mistake here. Okay, this here was due to this integer. In previous case, I have an integer here. I can't add this. Okay, I'm just commenting. I'm just making it as a string. I'm converting that into a string. Now I'm running this code once again. Okay, we got our new list and we have added this two tuples. Okay, this is a tuples of input like this. Okay, we have added to it and we got a single list. Okay, this way also we can use a map function to it. Okay, what if I want okay, if I don't want to print each time, I don't want to call my list and each time when I'm printing it, means I can add a list before it. Okay, I can convert this map function to a data type that I want. For example, I can do this with a list, or I can get it with a tuple, or I can get it with a set also. I can convert that with a set also. Okay, now I'm running like this. Okay, we got the same output as our previous case. Okay, this way also we can do our map function. Okay, what if I want to add my map function to using a lambda? Okay, using my lambda function. What if I want to combine both lambda and my map function? It will. Okay, we will see that. I'm gonna comment everything here. Okay, first I'm creating a list here. It's gonna be a normal integer list. Okay, with a value with a variable n. Okay, Okay, I'm assigning a variable x where I call my list inbuilt module and my map function here, and inside my map function I'm going to name my lambda. I'm going to name my lambda. Okay, and my variable for my lambda, okay, my argument is going to be x. Okay, what I'm going to do is x to the power of maybe square. I'm going to square it, and I'm going to pass my iterable n. Okay, finally I'm printing it, print my x. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm passing a predefined list with a variable n. Okay, I'm calling my map function and my lambda, and I'm giving x as, sorry, not a x here, I should change my values here. Output. Okay, I'm creating an x, I'm passing an x argument to my lambda function. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my x. Okay, where the x value will come from? It will iterate from the list n. Okay, in our previous lambda function we have done like this. Okay, yeah, we have done like this, but in this case I'm passing an iteratable next to my expression. Okay, I'm going to run this code. Okay, we got our proper output here. I just squared everything with the 2. Okay, I just multiplied x with the 2 and the x value is taken from the n. Okay, it has been iterating single value. Okay, this way also we can combine our map with our lambda function. Okay, this is another example for it. Okay, I think you will be clear with it, and we will move on to our next function type. It's going to be filter. Okay, our next inbuilt function will be a filter. Okay, filter is nothing but used to filter the element of the iterable based on some function. It's something of a filtering an item from a iterable or list based on our wish. Okay, the filter syntax is similar to be our map function. Filter function and iterables. Okay, we will see that in a practical example. Okay, I'm commenting everything here. Okay, to create my filter function, I'm getting this. I'm using my old list. The old list I've created in my previous problem. I'm going to define my function def. It's gonna be an even to check whether the given function is even or not, and it's gonna be a as an parameter argument to be passed. Okay. Next, I'm gonna return a mod 2 equal to 0. If this condition satisfied alone means it will return my value. Okay, this way. And my next line. I'm going to call another variable x, and I'm going to call my filter function. Okay, I'm going to pass my function name even and my arguments here. Okay, yeah, I'm going to change my argument name to n because I've defined the list as n. Okay, and then I'm going to print my x with a list value. Okay, list of x. Okay, I'm gonna run this code. I think I got an error here. I'm gonna check it. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm bad. I forgot to change my value to a to n. Okay, my bad. Okay, I'm gonna run this. Okay, we got our proper output here. Okay, 2, 4. Okay, this is a even function we have present in our list. Okay, This way also we can print. Okay, we can use a filter. I'm using a filter. Okay, not I can also print it. I can make this is a if condition also, but without using a condition, I'm getting the value of it using my filter function. Okay, I'm iterating it. I'm iterating a list into a function using my filter. I'm getting the value of it. Okay, only the even value. Okay, only the satisfied value of my only my true value of my function. Okay, our next problem is going to be using my filter function with my lambda. Okay, I'm going to use my filter function with my lambda. Okay, for that I'm going to define x, my variable x, and I'm going to call my list and filter in it, and inside that, okay, inside this filter function, I'm going to pass my lambda. Okay, I'm going to call my lambda and my variable. Okay, a mod 2. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay, a mod 2. Okay, this is my expression that I want to do in a range. Okay, I'm going to give my iteratable range 0 to 10. Okay, like this. This is going to be my list filter function using a lambda. I'm going to same as my previous problem. I'm going to check the even function. Okay, for a change. Next, I'm going to print my x. I'm sorry, I made a syntax error. I'm sorry, I'm just solving it. Okay, we got our even function in a range 0 to 10 using our filter and a lambda functions. Okay, this way also we can use our filter and lambda. Okay, our next problem is going to be find a greater number. It's similar to the problem. Okay, I think this will be enough for you. For this example is enough for you. I will make another example. It's going to be, I will create another final example in filter. It's going to be, I just want to find a greater number. Okay, greater in my list. Okay, for that I'm using my previous list here. It's similar to the even function. Greater in. Okay, what I'm going to do is return n is greater than 5. Okay, maybe 6. Okay, okay. Next, I'm going to initialize with x with a filter maybe my function name greater and my value for it. Okay, iteration. I'm going to run this. Sorry, I just forgot my print x. Okay, we got our filter object. Okay, I just forgot to convert that into a list. Okay, you have got our output. Okay, 6, 7, 8, which is greater than 5. Okay, my function is to check the value greater than 5. I'm getting this as an output. I've changed the input values to this 1 to 10 and I've got the output here. Okay, we will move on to our next next inbuilt functions, that is reduce. Okay, reduce and other inbuilt functions in Python. Reduce work differently, okay, than map and filter. It does not return a new list based on the function and iterable way of passing. Instead, it returns a single value. Okay, it will return a single value in it. Okay, we will see that a reduce in our practical example. Okay, I'm commenting it. To work on my with my reduce function. For that, I'm going to import a module from. Okay, I'm going to import a new module called fun tools. Okay, I'm going to import my reduce from a fun tools. Okay, it's an inbuilt modules import reduce. Okay, this way alone, in our previous map and filter, we can normally use that with an inbuilt function. Okay, but here my reduce is not going to be an inbuilt function. I'm going to import from there with another module called fun tools. Okay, okay, now we can use our reduce function. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function def. Okay, I'm going to add x comma y to it. I'm going to return x plus y. Okay, this is my function. Okay, now I'm going to pass my list here. N is equal to list 1. Okay, this is going to be a list. What I'm going to do is similar to my map and filter, I'm going to call my print. I'm going to call my reduce here. Okay, followed by my function name. Sorry, not open my brackets. Function name followed by iteratable in list. Okay, now okay, that's it. If I run this code, I think it's throwing me an error. No, yeah, fun tools. Okay, it's not a fun tool. Okay, it's not I forgot the C here. I'm gonna stop this. It's gonna be func tools. Okay, not a fun tool. It's gonna be func tools, function tools. Okay, short form of function tools. I'm gonna import reduce it, and here we go. We got about 15 here. Okay, what is doing? Okay, it's just adding everything. Okay, it is added everything here and giving us a final output. Okay, final output of our addition value. First it will take 1 and 2, and the value of this will be 3, and 3 plus 3 will be a 6, 6 plus 4 will be a 10, 10 plus 5 will be a 15. Okay, this way also we can use our reduce function to make this a problem. Okay, and we're going to use our next problem will be we're going to use our reduce function with a lambda. I'm going to use my reduce function with a lambda. For that also I'm going to import. Okay, I'm using this import function. Okay, I'm going to do the same method using my lambda function. Okay, I'm taking this same list. What I'm going to do is I'm defining a variable x. It's going to be filter, and inside the filter function, I'm sorry, it's going to be reduce. Okay, inside this reduce function I'm going to call my lambda. Okay, my variable here, my argument, it's going to be x comma y. Okay, x comma y, and my expression here. Okay, x plus y from the value of list n. Okay, I'm gonna print list of x. Okay, I'm gonna run this code. Okay, I don't want this list parameter to be passed here. Okay, I'm running this code once again. Okay, I got my output here. Okay, I got my output here. Okay, this is also this way also, this is the same as our previous function statement, but we have used a lambda here. Okay, we have used our lambda. Okay, this way also we can use our reduce function to make our problem easier way. Okay, these inbuilt functions are given to make our problem to make an easier one. Okay, that's all for today's class, and we will see you on a next class. Okay, thank you.